Hey, what's up everybody? I'm SuperSonicJB, and I have something very important to tell you all. Get this. I'm a father now. That's right, I'm finally a father. Here's my kid right now. Say hello to, I can't remember your name. Isn't he such a good boy? Oh, excuse me, I'm getting a phone call real fast. Hello, how's it going? Oh, hey honey. Huh? We're having another kid? Oh, wow, who knew? You're already born? Holy crap, already? Huh, what do you know? Okay, well, see ya, honey. Alright, apparently I have another kid now. Another phone call? Hello? Oh, hi, honey. We're having another kid? How many kids are we gonna freaking have? Alright, apparently in the last 5 minutes, I had 12 kids. That's a lot of child support. And you're probably wondering yourself, well, who's the mother? And that's a good question that I honestly don't have an answer for. Because I did a harem route and I have no clue who the real mother is. Heck, those phone calls I received from my 12 different girlfriends. Just like in the game Conception Plus, Maidens of the 12 Stars. Yep, that's a game that actually exists. You ever wanted to get up and play a game, but then you also made plans to go out with your 12 wives? Yeah, me neither. But it was a unique thought, wasn't it? Now, I'm a big fan of video games, as you can tell. But one of my all-time favorite video game genres is RPGs. RPGs have always been my go-to game genre. They tend to have awesome stories, epic gameplay, and amazing music. Now, RPGs have been popular for a long time now, but you want to know what's become even more popular than RPGs themselves? That's right, JRPGs. In case you don't know, a JRPG is a Japanese role-playing game made by a Japanese studio that usually features an anime-looking art style. Think of games like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, or even this game called Conception Plus, Maidens of the 12 Stars. This is a JRPG made by Spike Chunsoft that features an art style similar to the anime Re:Zero. This game is a remaster of the game called Conception, which is a PSP exclusive, because that system sure loved its JRPGs. This remaster was released for the PC and PS4 in 2019. It revolved around the protagonist getting sent to another world where he battled demons and created star children with multiple girls. Not gonna lie, when I did some research on this game, I thought it sounded pretty weird. And well, I mean, it is pretty weird. But I also learned it's apparently said to be one of the worst reviewed JRPGs on Metacritic. Now this caught my attention because I've played my fair share of bad JRPGs. But is this game really even that bad? I mean, come on, who the heck still trusts Metacritic? Now, I doubt anything will be as bad as the Loot Bait Summer of Gods, but you never know. Anyways, without further ado, let's take a look at Conception Plus, Maidens of the 12 Stars. The game opens up with an anime-style intro, because of course it does. It's basically tradition for JRPGs to have these. They have them on all the job application descriptions and everything. The title screen looks pretty cool, and I especially love the music playing in the background. It's nice and peaceful. When we start a new game, it asks us what to name the protagonist here, as well as when your birthday is, and what your blood type is. Where's the social security number option at? Not sure why it asks for your blood type here, but whatever. So the game starts off with the protagonist meeting up with his childhood friend, Mahiru Konatsuki, who is voiced by the same English voice actor as Makoto from Persona 5, and I cannot unhear it.
No way! You play too many games.
Anyways, Mahiru is a popular girl at school, and it turns out the protagonist moved in with her recently after his parents died in an accident. What kind of accident? I don't know, the game doesn't really say. Maybe it was something like a burnt toast accident or something. Anyways, we meet up with Mahiru up on our school's roof, and she has something very important to tell us.
I think I'm pregnant.
Alright, I'm off to get some milk at the store. The main character then gets some options to say some stuff, like asking if the baby is his.
Yes, the baby's yours.
Oh god, I can see the child support bill now.
Of course not. When did we ever have that sort of relationship?
Okay, someone else has to pay the child support. Thank God, because I spent all my money on waifu figurines. Anyways, before you can question her even more, the sky shatters into pieces like a piece of glass from a Tom and Jerry episode. Then we both get sucked into a summoning circle? I think that's what it is anyways. And then we wind up in a strange place in another dimension. Then the game lets us walk around for about 5 feet before we jump into another cutscene anyways. So Mahiru admits to us that she's never actually had a boyfriend, neither has she ever had a kid with anyone before. Pretty sus if you ask me. She says that she did take a pregnancy test though, and did come back positive, though she never visited an actual doctor, because she was too scared. Then all of a sudden her stomach starts hurting like crazy, then a mysterious mark appears on her face, and then some weird shadow monster comes out of her mouth. Is this game a hentai or something? Anyways, the shadow monster tries to attack us, but then the mysterious mark that was on Mahiru's face appears on our hand, and our main character awakens to a cool power and creates a sword out of thin air, and now we can jump to our first fight in the game. So the game's combat is pretty standard really. You can do basic melee attacks, use skill moves that use up MP, use items, guard, mech unites? I have no idea what that is right now, but we'll talk about that later in the video. We can also view info, tactics, and can attempt to escape a battle. For now though, all we can do is attack. You can attack an enemy up front, and you can press any direction on a D-pad to move to a section in this big circle here. This lets you attack from behind and to the side, which sometimes can deal more damage. We'll talk more about the combat in a bit, but for now, let's continue with the game's story. After the battle, we find an exit door, which leads us to a forest. Here we meet this tanuki-looking creature in handcuffs, who welcomes us to the world of Granbania. His name is Mana, like the video game series, and he's a real weirdo.
Until you're a virgin, you smell like a green banana.
What the heck is this game? We then meet this ReZero looking character named Narcissus, and he calls us God's gifts because of the marks on our hand and face. Turns out Narcissus, who I'm just going to be calling Nar from now on, is a palace scholar of the Kingdom of Granbania. Yeah, sure, and I'm the king of the Kurumi fan club. So yeah, he teleports us to a castle where he wants us to meet the king. Before we meet the king though, Nar shows us the outside of a place called National Star God Academy, which is a school where students learn to control the star energy within themselves. At this school, there are 11 star maidens who all work together to defend the peace of the nation, but more on them later. Anyways, we go to the castle and meet the king named Shangri-La. Really? That's his name? He asks us to save his world from danger, and Nar gives us some exposition on how a bunch of monsters, called impurities, are invading the Stardust Labyrinths, and the protection offered by 12-star offerings there is starting to fade away. And whenever a star offering loses its powers, a star god appears to save the world, which I guess is how the two of us wound up here. Also, this world is connected to ours, and they call our world Sora. Sora? So in order to get back to our world, we had to save this one. Mahiru ends up passing out after all the commotion, and Nar calls this woman named Rione, who is a palace physician. She's also got some pretty intense jiggle physics, not gonna lie.
Where were you looking when you said that? Is a woman's body the only thing you look at?
Anyways, then she gives out some lame expedition too, and then she asks us to strip for her? Sheesh, lady, I know you look like a dummy mommy, but have some decency here. Yeah, turns out she just wants to show us these constellations on her body, which represent the 12-star offerings. Then she does even more expedition and goes on and on about being some impurity gods, blah blah blah, save the world. Let's go to see the other waifus in this game. We head over to the Star God Academy and meet the Star Maidens. There's Ari, Tarua, Lilith/Lily. That was actually kind of hard to say. Lilith/Lily, Lilith/Lily. Dude. Ruka, Femarina, who kind of looks like Buri Lubia in a way, Miri, Sue,
Call me Sue.
Barin, who honestly might be my favorite here, Paulette, and Yuzuha. And Mahiru is a 12-star maiden. Speaking of Mahiru, she ends up coming to the academy, and we find out that she really never was pregnant. She just had an impurity inside her body, and the star maidens expel them from their bodies prior to being reborn. Whatever that means. Anyways, we go to the church, and Rione teaches us one of the main gimmicks of the game, called Class Mating. So this is a procedure where you make children with the Star Maidens. Wait, what? Yep, in this game, you can basically have kids of these 12 Star Maidens, and you can bring these kids into the labyrinths to fight off the impurities. I guess when they said Class Mating, they weren't kidding. Wait, isn't this girl a kid or something? Oh hey, the FBI's here! These star children are warriors that you can have in your party, and you'll be able to use them in battle. We'll talk more about them in a bit. This whole class mating procedure is supposed to be different than, you know, sex. But after watching this weird cutscene, I'm not so sure about that.
Do be gentle. It is her first time.
So yeah, the MC makes some star children with Mahiru, and they look, cute, I guess? Happy birthday! Yeah, enjoy paying child support now, my guy. Oh hey, 10% off bond points. Not bad. Also, my god, we already have 4 kids? Hey y'all, I'm back from the store getting milk. I know it's been 5 years and all, but I'm finally back. What's that? We have more kids now? Huh, well, what do you know? I need to go get more milk, so see you later. I'll be right back. So yeah, we'll need to do this classmate technique multiple times with all the star maidens, so that we can send our children into these dangerous dungeons so they can kill demons and save the world. What the fuck even is a storyline? Yeah, not gonna lie, this game's storyline can get pretty weird at times. I mean, the whole idea of making children with all these women, just to then use these children to fight for you, It's a pretty weird concept for a game, but then again, so is using pets to beat up other people's pets, like in Pokemon. The story can also get pretty confusing at times, and there's so much exposition in the game's dialogue that it actually frustrates me. Yes, I get it, I'm a star god, okay? Now this game has several different locations you can go to, like your room, the Star Academy, the King's Castle, etc. Most of the time you'll be at the Star Academy, spending your time with the Star Maidens, or you'll be exploring the labyrinths. Before you enter a labyrinth though, the game will make you go to the shop to buy some equipment, like swords and armor, or even items. The king originally gave you a maxed out wallet, which was extremely generous of him. So this is where the kingdom's tax dollars went. But unfortunately, some jerk pickpockets us, and Mana gives us his life savings, which isn't nearly as much as what we had earlier. And then there's the quest system, which lets you complete quests that usually involve going to the labyrinth and getting items, or killing an impurity. You can unlock new quests by completing old ones and progressing to the game's story. Sometimes the Star Maiden themselves will give you quests. By completing your quests, you'll get some good rewards and will be able to purchase new items at the shop. Now obviously the main thing you'll be doing in this game is going to the many labyrinths. Every time you enter a labyrinth, time will pass by 1 week. Same with staying in your room. The labyrinths also have 4 seasons, so at one point it'll be spring, then the next thing you know, it'll be winter. If you and your star children feel too weak to progress through a labyrinth, then you'll need to spend some time with the 12 Star Maidens to strengthen them. All the labyrinths have randomized floors, and you must defeat the impurity gods, which are basically the bosses in this game, to beat the game. And you have to place a new star offering throughout the deeper parts of the labyrinth. You can also find these escape points on each floor that let you escape from the labyrinth. Each labyrinth has a goal portal that will take you on to the next floor, just like the stairs in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Now during combat you can command where you want your star children to stand and what angle they can attack from. You can have up to 3 teams of star children, with each team consisting of 4 members. This may sound OP with how many party members you'll have during a fight, but the catch is, each group takes damage every time one of them is hit. Enemies can also travel to other sections in the combat field, so you need to be careful where you leave your star children at. Enemies can also charge up strong attacks, and if you're standing on a spot where they're going to unleash it, then you're most likely going to die. Though thankfully, when a star child dies, you can just use a healing item to revive them instead of reviving items, which I think is a pretty nice feature. Each star child represents a certain class, like knight, mage, etc. And they all have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Lots of these star children though are just copy and pasted characters, which does kind of suck, but you can get hundreds of these guys, so I understand why some of them look alike. The labyrinths also have tons of items that you can attain, and you can rack up money pretty quickly too, which is nice. Here's the thing though, the labyrinths themselves aren't really that interesting to explore. They're really linear, and lots of floors are basically just copy and pasted. There's not much enemy variety here, and the hitboxes on the enemies is way too big. Like, come on, I didn't even touch a guy here, but I'm still thrown into a battle. This whole dungeon exploring gimmick gets really repetitive over time, and yet one of the biggest issues I have with this game, it's the fact that you can't have any of the 12 Star Maidens in your party. Like, we got all these waifus in this game, yet none of them join us in battle at all. Nope, they rather have their kids doing the fighting instead. I just think it'd be a fun idea to let us actually play as these characters, rather than actually play as the Star Children. Star Children themselves really aren't anything special. Like, they don't even really have names. In lots of ways, this game reminds me of that game I reviewed a few years ago called Criminal Girls 2. Now imagine that game, but you can't play as the waifus. And bam, then the game becomes Conception Plus. Speaking of the 12 Star Maidens, another one of the main gimmicks in this game is improving your bonds with them. This is honestly my favorite part in the entire game. Spending time with the Maidens can improve your stats and make your Star Children stronger, and you can create more and more Star Children as your bonds grow. It's nice to get to know these characters, and seeing their unique personalities shine is a real treat. You can even make choices to improve your bond deeper with them. These Star Maidens really are awesome characters, I'll admit. Again, I'd say Farron is my favorite here, simply because how fun her personality is. Plus she's an elf girl, and you know me, I just love elf waifus, guys. Then there's the game's soundtrack. It's alright, but nothing really that impressive. Lots of music gets repetitive after a while, but still, it's not that bad. I also really do love the game's ReZero looking art style. The characters and backgrounds look really awesome. At this point, I don't really have much else to say about this game, so let's start wrapping things up. And yet, I thought Conception Plus, Maidens of the 12 Stars, was a pretty decent game, though it definitely has plenty of flaws. The dungeon crawling gameplay gets really repetitive and boring after a while, but the characters are really interesting and unique. The main story has issues, but the comedic scenes can be really entertaining. Plus the voice acting's really good too. I feel like the critics were a little too harsh on this game, calling this one of the worst JRPGs ever released. I'd say it's a solid 7 out of 10 at best. Maybe it would have been a 10 out of 10 if you could actually play as the Star Maidens here instead of playing as Sword Star Child number 69. So yeah, that was Concession Plus Maidens at 12 stars. And like I said, it's a decent enough game, but far from the best JRPG out there. I still think the game would be so much more fun if I could actually play as the Star Maidens themselves instead of the Star Children. It's a unique idea, I'll give it that, but still, the execution wasn't the best. Still though, you can have hundreds of kids in this game. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And I don't got the money for that. Maybe one of my 12 wives do.